Alright, so you shot all your footage, you're back home, and you're ready for post-production. Now, we'll be demonstrating on a Final Cut Studio system, but regardless of your editing software, all these tips we're going to go over should be helpful. In most cases, you're turning the project around in 48 hours, so it's important to keep things efficient and organized. If you want some tips on keeping your project organized, please take a look at the editing and exporting tips video. The first thing you should do after your shoot is ingest your footage. Save your project and set the capture scratch to your project drive before you start capturing, or you'll end up with some untitled folders that Final Cut will generate. Visit the project page for additional info, assets, and communication with the customer in StudioNow. You'll want to look over any style guidelines or project notes. If there are any assets that the customer wants in the video, such as pictures or graphics, there'll be an Assets tab for you to download. In this case, we have an end slate and some pictures. Save these to your project drive. In some cases, a graphic generator, located under the Production Pack tab, will be available to help with titles and graphics. This will output a file you can download for use in your project. This won't be available for all projects, but be sure to check. You may want to break out the project paperwork to make sure that your spelling is correct. Go to the Music tab and select a few songs that you might think are appropriate. Save them to your project drive. If you have any questions about the project, you can ask those questions under the Project Info tab. You can send both to the customer and StudioNow, or just StudioNow. They'll show up below and emailed directly. Any responses will show up here and in your email box as well. After your source footage has been ingested, you'll want to bring in your additional assets. Now you can start laying down your interview selects. This is the base of your video, and if you're doing a 90-second video, you don't want the interview selects to be much longer than a minute. Select the strongest and most concise responses to each question. If you see that they're running long, watch your timeline again and cut the most non-essential responses. Also, keep in mind, you don't always have to have the customer start off by saying their name. In many cases, you want to end the interview on a call to action, that is, asking the viewer to go to the business. Now you can go through your B-roll and pictures and select a few intro shots. This intro should be 3 to 5 seconds long. At this point, you can try out a few different music tracks you've selected to go along with your B-roll intro. Make sure your audio levels are hitting around -12 dB.
We've been working on the art of customer satisfaction.
Now, start looking for B-roll and pictures to cover the interview. Ideally, it directly corresponds with what is being discussed. Put the slate down for 3 seconds at the head of your sequence. Put the end slate at the tail of your sequence. Now go ahead and render, and you're ready to export. For tips on exporting, check out the editing and exporting tips video. Go to your StudioNow project page. Click the Edits tab. Name your version, First Draft, and upload the file. You'll get an email notification that it's been uploaded, and StudioNow will automatically be notified as well. At this point, StudioNow will approve or fail the project, based primarily on technical standpoint. This is called the Quality Assurance, or Q&A stage. Projects fail Q&A for things like spelling errors, audio sync problems, or aspect ratio problems. If your project fails this stage, you'll need to upload a corrected version as soon as possible. If everything has been approved here, it will be forwarded to the customer. This whole process will be documented on the Project Info tab under History. If the customer has a revision request, you'll have 24 hours to turn this around. Once your project has been approved, you'll get an email notification. You'll need to upload or ship project releases and project media to StudioNow. If you're going to be shipping the media, the preferred way is to burn data disks with the capture scratch. Visit the Shipping Center section of the website to keep track of your project shipments. Here, you'll be able to print out free FedEx shipping labels. Alright, so that's a general overview of the post-production process. For more in-depth information, make sure to check out our post-production tips video.